Hi everyone, this is part 2, chapter number 2, the Vedic period. Let me first appreciate you all for your kind attention towards the studies, and I see you following different ways of learning. We all know winners do not do different work, they do the work differently. Your online learning makes you different learner, and it will make you a winner one day. We all pray for that. Let's start the topic Brahmanas after that quick revision. The first part of this chapter we have studied about the Vedic period. We came to know that when the Aryan got settled in India, the period is known as the Vedic period. The Vedic period is divided into two parts, the early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Early Vedic period, when the Rig Veda was composed, and the rest of the Vedas were composed during the later Vedic period. We come to know more about the Vedic period from the literary sources. Some of the literary sources we have explained in part 1, like the Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. In this video, we will talk about the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. Let's start the Brahmanas. As you can see, a paragraph. In this paragraph, we come to know about the Brahmanas. This is written after Vedas in simple commentary. It is in prose form. The Brahmanas explain social and religious importance and the value of sacrifices. Each Veda has several Brahmanas. So the conclusion, the Brahmana describes about the social and the religious importance and the value of sacrifice. And come to the next topic, the Aranyakas. The Aranyakas is known as the forest book, provide guidance for the hermits. Who are the hermits? Hermits are the persons living alone in the forest, and it also give guidance to the students living in the forest. The main theme of the Aranyakas are mysticism. This is a new word. Let me explain you little about mysticism. Mysticism means the belief that there is hidden meaning in life. The life has hidden meaning. This is described in Aranyakas, and it also describes the philosophy, means the fundamental meaning of knowledge. The Upanishads, they are philosophical commentaries on the Vedas. The doctrines such as karma, moksha, maya are explained in detail. Karma means the work that we do. Moksha means free from the sin, and Maya means magic and charm. Is explained in detail in Upanishads. The Upanishads form a basic source of Indian philosophy composed by different sages. The Upanishads are composed by different sages, and they are said to form the foundation on which later additions to Vedic literature rest. Means it gives the foundation to the rest of the Vedic literature. So students will talk about allied Vedic literature, means some more added Vedic literature. And first we'll talk about the Vedangas. They deal with the ways in which the Vedas ought to be chanted. When we read a word, there is the way to pronounce it. So how the word will be pronounced and how the hymns will be chanted, this is very clearly described in Vedangas, and are thus important in understanding of Vedas. It also helps, Vedangas helps to understand the Vedas. The 6 Vedangas deal with pronunciation, grammar, etymology, metrics, and astronomy. There are some words which are new for us. Pronunciation we all understand, grammar we understand. Etymology, the study of origin of the word. As we have studied, the Veda is derived from a word Vid, which means knowledge. So each word and its origin is very well described in Vedangas. It also describes about the matrix, means the system, and the astronomy, means the study of the objects, study of the celestial objects. This is all about Vedangas. Come to the sutras. They are divided into three groups. The Shruta Sutras, which deal with yajna. Yajna, the sages perform the ritual that is called yajna, and sacrifices. The sacrifices means giving help to others. The Grihastha Sutras or Smrata Sutras, which deal with the ceremonies connected with family life, and the Dharma Sutra, which provide rules of conduct for the various classes of people and various stages in their life. Means Sutras helps to give or provide rules of conducts for the various classes, means different classes are there, what are they supposed to do, and there are different stages in life, in what stage what task we are supposed to perform, that is given in the sutras. The Upavedas, as the name suggested, they are subsidiary Vedas. Means there is a question, what is known as the subsidiary Vedas? The answer will be Upavedas are known as the subsidiary Vedas. They are 4 in numbers. Ayurveda, we all have heard about Ayurveda, which deals with the Indian system of medicine. Ayurveda helps us to cure the diseases. It talks about the medicine and the diseases. The Dharurveda describes the art of warfare. Gandharveda describes the art of music, and Silpa Veda deals with the art and architecture. Silpa Veda, with the name we can understand that it deals with the art and architecture. Darshana, there are 6 schools of Indian philosophy known as the Shad Darsanas. They include Nyaya Darshana, Vaishika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa. So these are the 6 Shad Darsanas. They all propagate the virtue of life, the value of life, and are opposed to external rituals. The extra rituals are not appreciated in Darsanas. The value of life is more important. Talk about the Dharma Sutras, which is a law book. As we have a law book named Constitution in our country, so in the religious law book we take Dharma Shastras. The law books called the Dharma Shastras and the Smritis, together with their commentaries, are called the Dharma Shastras. So they lay down the duties for different classes of people as well as for the kings and their officials. It deals with the duties of the king, duties of the officials, and the people's duty. Manusmriti gives the descriptions of Hindu code of law, including the Varnas. Hindu religion is divided into different Varnas, means the castes, and the ashrams. So it gives detailed information about it. The Ashtadhyayi, it is a treatise on the Sanskrit grammar by Panini. Panini story is very famous that Panini did not have an education line on his palm, but he worked so hard and proved himself a great scholar. Information is given about the roots of words and the context in which they were used in Vedic literature. So in Ashtadhyayi, about the roots of the words given, or how the words are used in Vedic literature, it is very well described. As we can see the epics, there are several epics in Indian history. The first one is the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita. In this video we will talk about the Ramayana. To make you understand the story of Ramayana, I will explain it. And after listening to the explanation, when you will go through the paragraph, you will be more clear about it. I will add some more information for you all. So let's start the story. There was a kingdom named Ayodhya. The king Raja Dasratha had 4 sons named Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat and Satrughna. Rama was the son of eldest queen Kaushalya and was the heir apparent to the throne, means the next ruler. After Rama was married to Sita, he was to be installed as a king. At this juncture, Kekai reminded him of the promise he made earlier to Raja Dasratha. He made earlier to grant her a wish. You must be curious to know that what was that situation when Dasratha asked Kekai for a wish. Actually, there was a time when Raja Dasratha was in trouble, and at that moment of time, Kekai helped him. And seeing the help of Kekai, Raja Dasratha was very pleased and promised Kekai that whenever she will ask some wishes, he will fulfill it. So, at this moment of time, Kekai replied to King Dasratha that I will ask for the wish now. And what was Kekai's demand from Raja Dasratha? He asked Raja Dasratha to send Lord Rama into exile for 14 years and appoint Bharat as the ruler of Ayodhya. Raja Dasratha was very hurt, but he had to fulfill his promise, and Lord Rama along with Sita and Lakshmana went into exile for 14 years. In the forest, an incident took place. In disguise of a sannyasi, Ravana, the demon king, abducted Sita and took her to Lanka. Abducted means forcefully taken. So Sita was forcibly taken by demon king Ravana to Lanka. Rama took the help of Sugriva and Hanuman. They crossed the ocean and defeated Ravana. And Rama then, along with Sita and Lakshmana, proceeded home. Having completed the 14 years exile, he was crowned the king. So this is the story, the brief story of Ramayana. Next, we will have Mahabharata in the next video. Students, I will also tell you some answers from the exercise of this chapter. Till the time, you can read the chapter and you can find out the answers yourself. The answers may vary, there is no problem, but it should answer the question, and the answer should be to the point. Till the time, I say thank you to all of you for listening this video very sincerely. You all are tremendous students. Hope the next video will be for you very soon. Thank you very much. Stay very safe and keep studying. Bye.